Hello everybody, welcome back to Commonwealth Flipper. You notice it's clean in there. I've got some sales today as always, and I've got a couple of topics that are really interesting to me. One of them is something eBay's been doing now for a while, since the end of last year, and I think ramping it up, that I am excited about. I think they've made a good decision in going this direction. The second thing is a particular category that I've been getting a lot of questions about lately that people think is dying. I have a different twist to it that I think I'm right on, but I'll have to get your feedback on as well. And we've got a lot of awesome sales and a cool little black kitty. Let's go take a look. All right, you know this cat can do trouble. So I'm gonna give him some treats, give her some treats today, and then I'm gonna kick you out so you don't break stuff again. I guess we'll start with these two topics. The one we'll start with is, I've got a lot of questions on multiple platforms when I go live in different places about a certain category. There's a moth in here. That's not good. And they're asking about the future of this category. Should people stop focusing on it? And it's kind of an interesting question to ask me. We'll talk about it here in a second. It is not the Christmas ornament category. That will probably always be here. Although, you know, Mickey and Minnie's not an easy seller. And Mickey, you know, Disney Christmas ornaments don't always go for good money. These sketchbook ones, they've done okay for me. $18.95. And they've sold pretty quickly out of season. $18.95 plus shipping. Should have grabbed this one earlier. Got to go out to the other one. Glass we keep out here. This is it's a swung vase that didn't sell for very much. And it's kind of I think it's Northwood Carnival glass. And it's a 10-inch one. I knew that it was out here. I should have grabbed it earlier. So this is a small one right here. And that one sold for, I think, same price as the ornament did, $18.95 plus shipping. So the next one I'm going to pick up, I'm going to jump ahead early for this one because it relates to the topic. And that is video games here. So these are Xbox 360 games. There's a lot of 7 here. Not amazing titles. We had them listed as a lot, and they did not sell. But they did when they went on 30% off for like $17.46 plus shipping for that lot. And this is the category I've been getting a lot of people asking questions about. It's like, you know, stop buying this stuff, or if it's a statement, you know, stop buying this stuff. It's not selling for what it used to, or the future of this market is nothing but downhill and whatever. I'm like, phew, please, please ignore it if you wish, because that means there'll be more of it out there for me. There are still massive winners in this category. The perspective of looking into the future where you'll have, you know, hard copy stuff, and I've got vintage stuff back there as well, and, you know, going from Atari all the way through to all the new stuff, I can definitely see there being a downturn in the overall growth of that particular sale category, because a lot of it is just being digitalized today to the point where you know, you're not buying anything hard anymore. But that doesn't mean that the old stuff is going to just tank. I just don't see that. It's not been my personal experience. I think that that is a market still that I look to and I try to find. And there are some huge winners in those categories. I just picked up a bunch this weekend. My dad, actually, I went down to see my boys' tournament. He picked a bunch up for me at a super good price as well. And honestly, the sourcing for it has come back a little bit lately. There was a time where you couldn't find anything out there. And now I think I'm finding it a little bit more than I used to, because the mindset of people, you know, when we grew up, you know, we had toys, we had physical things, and now a lot of times, like, my boy doesn't have near as many toys. Well, he's not a little boy anymore, but even when he was, as I did when I was a kid, because their phone holds so much, or their iPad, or whatever it is when they get it, or steal it from me, or whatever it is that they do. So I wouldn't get rid of any category. None. There would be not one single category. Now, you could niche down and say, oh, well, don't buy Funko Pops anymore, or whatever. But I'm talking about large categories. Let's talk about the categories for a minute. You'll see me stoop down again because I still haven't fixed that. I'll probably be saying that for another 2 months before I do it. Electronics and accessories is the #1 category, but that is a mass. That's, you know, from phones to video games, right? That is a massive category. And I'm not ever going to ignore any of these categories. Clothing, shoes, and accessories is #2. You got other categories. Let's see here. Home and garden, massive category. Collectibles, which is what I love the most, but not in the traditional sense of collectibles, I suppose. Health and beauty is a massive category. Toys and hobbies. So when you're looking at collectibles up here, that might be things like coins and cards and stuff like that. Sporting goods is a massive category as well. So I am an everything seller. So for me, I am not going to just say, nope, I'm done with video games. However, if I was a video game only seller and you start to see that downturn, if you are seeing that downturn, and I think there are certain aspects and places where you do see it, but in some other places where you absolutely don't in that category, I just am not in favor of getting rid of taking anything out of my playbook. But that's coming from an everything seller. And I do think that being a niche down, knowledgeable seller gives you a massive head start in those categories to get higher prices for items. So this is not me preaching to people saying, you know, you need to be niche down or you definitely don't need to be niche down. You need to do what works for you. So my short answer is no, it's not a dead category, and I would not ignore it. But there's a lot of video game sellers out there that hope you ignore it, for sure. This is a Razor 5 wood. It's got some damage to the head. Sold for $39 plus shipping. And this is an older listing. Most of my new to me clubs, I've been selling over on Dibdit Sports. And I get less money, but boy, it streamlines my eBay in here. There'll be a few things I'll probably still post over here, but most of it's going over there on live shows. So that's the way I've kind of attacked this live thing. I've taken certain categories that I don't really love to list, and I'm putting them on different places and just getting less money and getting them in and out quickly. Especially those large items. You know, a lot of people used to say, if you're selling live, don't sell large items. Well, that's probably true of the black and yellow side over there, but over on our Dibdit marketplaces, you know, you can control the shipping. You can decide if it's ground advantage or if you want to ship something UPS or FedEx, you can control it yourself. So it really doesn't scare me at all, and I love it because I only have so much space. So I don't want to have, you know, 500 golf clubs sitting around. They take up a bunch of space. This was a, does that look like a pair of shorts? Yeah. Liberty University pair of shorts. Bought them for $1 at a yard sale, and they sold for $18.95 plus shipping. We'll do two more really quick and then get to the other topic, which is something I think eBay is doing right. And some people might think this is an old story because they've heard it before, but I see it being ramped up, and it is a good sign in my opinion. All right, now I was going to go over here to get it, but I saw them over here just a second ago. WrestleMania is coming up. I finally figured out why I'm selling all this wrestling stuff so much quicker than I used to. Stone Cold Steve Austin bandana, vintage, 1999 maybe, something like that. This one sold for $17.46 plus shipping. And we'll throw in another one, Kevin Nash, $9.07 on this one. I can find where I put the Kevin Nash ones. There it is right there. I think that's the last one we have of that. That's crazy. So wrestling has been selling every day for us lately. So the reason I say it's kind of an old story is that this is something that came out at the end of 2024 where they were clearly doing a new ad campaign, really the first of any size in a long time. But I am starting to see it everywhere now. And so it looks like it's being ramped up. I feel like it's being ramped up because this entire reselling marketplace is, for one, it's being kind of shaken up a little bit. It's been shook up a little bit. And you're seeing other players in it, but at the same time, I believe it's because it's a massively expanding marketplace. Again, it's always been expanding. It's been expanding forever, other than the little blips and, you know, COVID really did. And then it seems like it's slowed down since COVID, but in reality, it just kind of went back to where the growth that it used to have. And so to me, eBay has always been a place where you can find just about everything. It sets itself apart from Amazon, and especially what Amazon is doing now with trying, it looks to me like, and you Amazon folks out there can confirm this or deny it or whatever, but they're pushing out some of the smaller sellers in favor of the big sellers, which is something Amazon's always done. But this provides eBay with the opportunity, in my opinion, to be what eBay has always been and to market it as that. There's also another little factor that I want to put in here. Let me read. This is a little older, like, summary of this stuff, but then we'll get into the new stuff as well. All right, so new direction. This is eBay's first global brand campaign in a decade. You know, we've talked about, well, they used to do the cars things and eBay Motors and whatever, and it's not just limited to that at this point. And I saw a couple of new ads I had never seen the other day as well, just sitting there watching TV with the kids, marking a significant shift in their marketing strategy. Focus on passion. The campaign highlights the diverse passions and communities that thrive on eBay, from vintage fashion to rare collectibles. Now, there's more than that. I'm going to read it in a minute, but I want to touch on that point and then pick a few more items. This is the reason, one of the reasons, that I really love the idea of starting our own marketplace, Dibdit, and then all the other subsidiaries to Dibdit. Because it's got away, eBay has somehow got away from this idea of being a community. And how, I mean, it's easy, you can imagine, right? You get bigger and bigger and it's just a massive marketplace and you don't have that feel to it anymore. And so it was one of the reasons I did that. But they're pushing back against kind of those trends, I think, that you saw a decade ago where, you know, I don't want to see, we talked about the Puma thing earlier where the Puma gets on there and takes off everybody's used listings and whatever. And then everything you see from Puma is from Puma. I don't want eBay to become that. eBay shouldn't want eBay to become that. This is their niche. This is what sets them apart. The sellers selling unique and collectible things and things that are cool. That's the way they should push it, in my opinion. I've said that for years now, and it looks like they're doing it to some degree, with faults, of course, but I'm excited about it. This one's got a cool story. You snuck in here. Talked about it on the Trash to Cash podcast last week. You might remember this from my Commonwealth picker video when I was down in Florida last year. And I don't want to knock over this glass behind here. Uh-oh. Now I got dogs and cats in here, which means Pepper's going to run. And now Pepper's going to jump. Y'all be nice to that cat. Good grief. All right, I got put Pepper under the shed because the dogs can't get under the shed. I was freezing at a Florida flea market. I'm like, I got to get a coat. But I didn't want to just get any coat. I wanted to get a coat that I could sell. And I found this one. The guy wanted, I think, $5 or something for it. It had a couple issues on it. And this one right here, I don't know who made it. Cresco, it says. That one I wore that day, and then I brought it home and I listed it. And we sold it, finally, $40 plus shipping. Now that I look at the listing, that was totally not the right listing. This is $40 plus shipping. Authentic representation. To stay true to these communities, the campaign features real people, not actors, showcasing the eBay experience. I often think that people get the misconception, even when they buy on Amazon, that, you know, fulfilled by merchant or whatever. And certainly on eBay. Turner's in the back there doing something, getting his net out. Must be wanting to hit off the tee. And what was I talking about? Oh, that eBay isn't selling anything. eBay's just providing the platform, and we are. And so the idea, you know, the folks out there who buy local and do whatever, you know, that's a way to market this thing where you're helping small businesses as well. But whatever. Launch film. The campaign's launch film brings the experience of the eBay website to life, showcasing the passions that live there. Home to things people love. The campaign tagline is home to things people and love. Or not love. Things people love. So two different ways you can look at that. Things people and love, or things people love. Which was a bit of a thing I read in a different article that made it a little bit sound sketchy. But the campaign includes ads for pre-loved fashion, vintage items, rare collectibles. So I think this is the right direction. You tell me if you think it's the wrong direction. You tell me what your if you had to make the marketing campaign up for eBay, what would it be? There's a cool little sale right here. STP Racing Team Swingster made in the USA Polo. It's a nice little sale, $30. No shipping. Picked this DVD VCR combo up the other day, and a private pick. Somebody gave me a call, said, hey, we're cleaning out this lady's house, helping them move, and they've got some stuff they want to sell. And I came over there, and they had a lot of really good stuff. Hoping I get a call back, but I wanted them to be able to get an opportunity to get like high dollar for their stuff first, and if they couldn't, then I would buy it out. And I told them about what price I was willing to pay. But I did grab some stuff as well, a bag full of stuff. I don't know how much it was all worth, but I paid $50 for all of it because I just knew that I could make my money back on this, and then the rest of the stuff, which also included that Doughboy up there, and some other things, I could make some money on. So this one right here sold for $64.95 plus shipping. It had a remote. It wasn't with it, but I found it by the TV console. And so Memorex isn't amazing, but you know, I always throw in a cassette and the AV cables with it. Added bonus with this guy right here, and it sold quickly for 65 bucks plus shipping. Next item was really not a good buy, but I only paid $1 for it, and it sat forever, and then it went on 30% off, and it sold. And it only sold for $10.46, so yes, I'm making money on it, but it's not the kind of thing I want to buy. One into $10.46, took up space, took forever to sell. But hey, it's gone. It's a little family and friends CPR anytime kit. $10.46 plus shipping. Next one, I'm hoping, this is one of the transition ones that we did because we had a little flood inside. And we had some hanging costumes in there, some not hanging out here. We decided to move them all out here. And I'm hoping it's in this barrel right here. Or maybe I should say bin. And it is a Princess Leia costume. And it sold for decent money. Some of them, you know, don't sell for that much. I'm hoping that maybe that's it right there. There it is right there. Princess Leia. That one sold for what did it sell for? $26.95 plus shipping. Next one is a pretty cool little sale. It's a Coors Light bag. Like a cooler bag, I think. I think this is it. I love selling stuff like this. I know some people are like, why do you waste your time on it? Stuck on something down here. There we go. Little Coors Light bag. That one sold International Athlon, Team Athlon. It's over $19 plus shipping. I love these. In the bottom row down there, and I'll have to show it to you, I don't suppose, but I have giant poly bags that these things slide into. They're a little bit pricey, but it saves you the money that it costs because you don't have to put a box. Like this is borderline a pound. And putting it in a box might take it over 2 pounds. And this one right here, you put in a giant poly bag and ship it. It's super easy. You could also use, those white trash bags aren't good. They just rip and tear too easy. But if you can find small, heavy-duty construction bags, which I've only ever bought one thing for. I don't know if you can actually find those or not. Those would work too, and they're a little cheaper. Sold some vintage Guess that I'm going to have to show you because here it is right here. Sold for $29.95. I can't find it in the 2 bins I've looked in already. And I'll go inside. It's denim, so we don't typically hang up denim. We put it in a bin. But these are overalls. And so maybe we hung it up inside. Let's hope. This has happened a lot. Too much, way more than it's ever happened before. We usually find it in the end, but hopefully I can go in and get it. Sold a hat. I think I sold another one going out tomorrow as well. Maybe 2. So hats are finally starting to pop a little bit. They usually do in the spring. This is a racing hat. So it should be in the racing bin. Should be. We shall see. And this, I'm looking for a cobalt racing hat. And I'm not seeing it right off the bat here. So there it is right there. That one sold for $14.95 plus shipping. And it went out to James. So James, I want to thank you. He says, like watching your videos. Thank you. James, I appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the hat. And we sold a Camaro keychain. We are down to 11 maybe. I think that's right. And these are going for $10.46. And I always say I'll stop buying these because they are slow sellers. This is a Brunswick bag. That design, you'll see them on the Don Carter bags. But when I see them and I'm like, I just make an offer. I'm like, I'll give you $1 for it. And if they say yes, I still buy it. This one sold for $24.47 plus shipping. I got a nice, very nice message from Thrifting Mandy and the boys. Thanks for the opportunity to sell on Divdit. You guys are awesome. Thank you for sending that. We appreciate you guys. Are some good sales. Go give them a follow. And Mary McQueen, who is awesome if y'all know Mary. And if not, go check out Mike Metco Meetups. Send me a birthday card. So that was very kind, Mary. Appreciate you. All right, y'all. We got Reagan here with a sale not from CommonwealthPicker.com, but from Divdit.com. And she's thanking 2 people and no name. The big fat chubby kitty is here.
Lincoln Lane Treasures and Pacific Picker
Divdit bags. And he actually bought another one and gave it away on the show. I think Jennifer Andrewser got it, but thank you, Reagan.
Why is your nose so red? I got a little burnt.
A little burn at Turner's Tournament, huh?
Bye, and don't forget to get your stickers at CommonwealthPicker.com.
All right, Turner's got some Commonwealth comedy. What do you got, bud?
2 pickles fell out of a jar onto the floor. What did one say to the other?
I have no idea what.
Deal with it.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right, I could do a little bit more, but I'm going to cut it off today because I got to take Turner to practice, and I got to get this cat out of here before it wreaks more havoc. And let me know what you think of the 2 topics, the future of video game sales and eBay's marketing campaign. Tell me what you think they should do. How much, should they not spend anything? Should they focus on different niches and grow that way? Or should they do this overall campaign, which I kind of like. I got to be honest with you. So, at any rate, thanks for joining us, and I can't wait to see you next.